Can I can I ask you a question? So, would if you were in a situation where you have your brother, your cousin, whatever the case is, who is mentally ill, who has, let's say they have autism, and they are coming at you with a gardening tool. They're at a reasonable distance away from you, right? And you're armed. Would you shoot? I just want you to ponder that question as we watch this video.
A police officer has killed a black autistic teen who was holding a garden tool. Here's a brief portion of that body cam right before the shots were fired in that case.
Hey, get back! Get back! You're gonna get shot!
I mean, it's just it's heartbreaking and astonishing how familiar footage like that is in this country still. You wonder all the time when people learn lessons, and I don't know every intricacy of every case, but just the familiarity of.
How is it shocking when we live in a country where racism, slavery existed, where humans with brown skin, different shades of brown, were held captive against their will, were taken from a completely different continent, where blood is spilled, where they used to beat the backs of the slave until it was raw, and then throw salt on the wounds. I mean, this is the type of energy that this country exudes. This is the country's bloody history, and it's something that is continuing. How is it shocking and astonishing that this is still going on? This is a major issue. This is a major issue. That's just my opinion, though, I guess.
Body cam footage and then hearing about a 15-year-old African American being shot. A sheriff's deputy in Southern California shot and killed, as we saw, or as we saw the preamble to a 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor, who was holding a gardening tool. Officials said. A lawyer for the family said that Gaynor was a cross-country runner who had autism and who one day wanted to be an engineer. The lawyer claims the fatal shooting did not appear to be warranted. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department was responding to a 911 call on Saturday from a family reporting that a boy identified as Ryan Gaynor was attacking his family at their home in Apple Valley, east of Los Angeles. The department said he was holding a 5-foot gardening tool and approaching the first deputy who arrived at the scene when the deputy shot him. Gaynor was later taken to a hospital where he died. That's Sam Levin with The Guardian. The sheriff's department released 9/11 audio and partial body camera footage to The Guardian on Monday, but the clips do not capture the moment of the shooting, and a spokesperson declined to release additional video. On the call, a woman reported that her brother was attacking one of their sisters and trying to break a window and door. The audio captured yelling in the background, and the woman told the dispatcher, "They gotta take him in." During the roughly 5-minute call, the woman said the other relatives were trying to keep their distance from him. At one point, she said, "He's talking to my dad right now. He said he's going to run away, and then he came back to the house." She also said he had a piece of glass. The department released 2 roughly 15-second body camera clips, but both clips end before the shooting. Footage from one deputy showed him arriving at the home where the front door was open. A man inside could be heard saying, "He's got a stick in his hand." Gaynor then appeared and started quickly walking out of the home toward the deputy, who pointed his gun toward the boy and shouted, get back, or you're going to get shot." The deputy appeared to be walking backward, then running away from the boy, pointing his gun at him. The other clip captured that same moment from another deputy who was arriving and standing at a distance. Gaynor appeared to be holding the tool over his head, but it is unclear what he was doing as he was shot. A department spokesperson said it would not be releasing full body camera footage on Monday, and declined to say where Gaynor was shot, how many bullets were fired, and if multiple deputies had shot him. The spokesperson also declined to name the deputies on scene and said the case was still under investigation. Shannon Dykes, the elected San Bernardino sheriff, defended the use of lethal force in a statement saying, quote, and these we hear from very often, our social safety net for those experiencing mental illness needs to be strengthened. Our deputies handle seemingly insurmountable calls daily. Most of these calls do not end in violence. However, this one ended in tragedy for Ryan, his family, and for the deputies who responded. Dykes continued rapidly evolving violent.
So, I love how they just turn it around to them that it's a tragedy. Tragedy for them where? Tragedy for them where? Where it why this isn't about you. This is about you, but it's not about you. Tragedy for who? You get to go home and kiss your wife and kiss your teenage kids and do X, Y, and Z. You get to go eat a meal that you like. You get to go out and breathe in the air.
Encounters are some of the most difficult, requiring split-second decisions. While these decisions are lawful, they are awful in terms of our humanity. I feel for both Ryan's family and my deputies who will struggle with this for their entire lives. Jackson, how terribly do you feel for these deputies?
Not terribly at all. I think one of the things that we see constantly that we talk about, obviously, is that across the board, across the nation, we see police municipalities not really prepared to defend the community. But this is a good example of how they're really not prepared to defend themselves either. Because if someone's coming at you with something other than a gun, if it's a stick, if you're a defender of the law, then you should be able to maybe pull out a taser. I mean, at least before you have a gun. And then if not that, if someone has a stick, like you should have enough, self-defense or combat training to where you can probably do a little something like just grab the stick. Especially knowing that you're dealing with a kid, and also you've been briefed at least a little bit on the situation.
You see, but the thing is, they don't look at us at our kids as kids. Okay, and I'm not saying all cops. I'm not saying all a certain group of people, the whole group of that whole group, right? But we in a country where they used our babies, the babies, the newborn babies, the cute babies, the cooing babies, the babies that need your help, the babies that love you instantaneously as soon as they look at you. They use those babies to 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 get alligators. They use them as alligator bait. And people love to look away from that. People love to say that was so long ago. That was not that long ago. We're already in 2024. A quarter of a century has gone by like that. So imagine that was not too long ago, and probably is still going on in some places behind the scenes. KKK still exists. So we look at this and we see that this isn't a matter of, oh, this person sees that person as a child. They don't see us as even human. I'm not saying it's all cops. There are some of those good cops out there. But the evil ones really, really are causing trauma. And I'm absolutely disgusted. And I'm absolutely dismayed. And I'm absolutely outraged that you would make a statement like that. Not this guy. What's his name? Deputy.
Experiencing mental illness needs to be strengthened. San Bernardino sheriff defended the use of lethal force in a statement.
The San Bernardino County, the sheriff that's there at that department, whatever the case is, that sheriff that's there. I'm absolutely just disgusted at how you think that they're traumatized, that they went through so much, right? Yet you have a person that is no longer with us, that can't experience anything, right? And then you say we need to strengthen. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think a lot needs to be strengthened when it comes to how you handle, because this isn't the first situation of a person with mental illness that you're taking on, and things go south to the 100th degree, and multiple shots are fired. And that's two major red flags, is that they won't release the full footage. They won't release the full footage. What is it completely doesn't make sense, because we the people, we don't get to see anything. Everything gets wrapped up. Everything gets wrapped up in it's whatever you decide to let us see, even though it's our it's our tax money that is funding these departments, that is being put forth towards these departments. And it's a major red flag that you won't release the footage of what the full truth of what really happened, and also how many shots were fired. Major red flag. Major red flag. And like the man said, this light-skinned man with locks, Mr. Jackson, you're right. Because at the end of the day, you're holding a stick or a gardening tool, right? And you would think that these officers have some type of training to understand how to correctly do these things, right? If we go to some of the comments, I saw a comment that said, one comment says, here is a tip: do not run after anyone with a gun menacingly while holding a 5-foot tool. Well, I'm sorry, but you're a tool, because you don't understand the meaning of mental illness. You get to walk around capable, unless you have some type of mental condition, but everyone's mental condition is different. You don't know what somebody is going through in that moment, as they're going through what they're going through in their lives. This is not a normal person. This is why they said an autistic teen. They mentioned the autistic teen because it's worth mentioning that he is an autistic teen. Even the sheriff said that he has a mental illness, and they need to strengthen their movement, their approach with mental people that have mental illnesses. So maybe you should go back to the drawing board and think about that, what you just said. And then you have another person that says, I wonder if this had been a little white teenage girl, would he have taken the same course of action? Absolutely not. Would not have taken the same course of action. It would have been a completely different outcome. He probably would have let her hit him and then apologized for not like letting him hit him harder, or whatever the case is. He probably would have gave her a hug, okay, afterwards, and say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Another one says de-escalation. Not really. The U.S. believes that death is the answer for a child with a stick. We are the only country where cops kill people holding a stick or a gardening tool. I am sick of the split-second bullshit. Facts, me too. Cops killed a 64-year-old grandmother experiencing a mental illness episode holding a kitchen knife. And we have a lot of mental illness in America, because look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. You work. You know, your SSI is trash and it's a scam. Then you have the president raising taxes and then also giving it to people who just got here and putting them in luxury hotels, while people actually needed, who were here for years, born here, came here legally, whatever the case is, and are struggling to pay rent. And what does he do? He raises the taxes, but he also wants to cut education, cyber homeschooling. He wants to send $50 billion or however much money to other countries to help them, but he has a hard time thinking about what he could do to help this country. He has a hard time passing those laws, right? They have to go through legislation. They have to go through all these meetings. They have to go through all of these signing signatures, guessing, second guessing, third guessing, all of this, but with a quick flick of the wrist can send $50 billion somewhere else. We live in a country where the American dream is a complete scam and mental illness is on the rise. There are certain ways that you are supposed to attack these situations. They said that they made a split-second decision because they could not outrun or outmaneuver a 64-year-old overweight, slow-moving Black woman. It seems that the split-second decisions are often lethal when Black people are involved. Straight facts. And you know what I think? A lot of these police officers hate Black people. And whenever they see that it's a black person involved, they are itching. They can't wait. Even in the video, he was overly hyped, overly like scary. First of all, if you're gonna be that scary, why are you a police officer? It's y'all, it's not me saying this. Y'all said this. What y'all say? To protect and serve. So it's like some police officers, what do y'all become police officers because it look cool or because you get to ride around and they get to abuse authority? And again, it's not all police officers. I ran into some calm, cool, collected, chill, human police officers. It's about the person that's in that uniform. But definitely there are people that have bad nerves. Like, why are you a cop? You clearly can't even, you have some type of mental illness because you can't even maneuver. And, you know, the first thing I think about, if I'm thinking about a safe job, I'm not going to say, you know what, I want a safe job where there's completely low risk for any type of injury, fatality, or any major decisions that could affect and impact other people's lives. You know what, I'm going to become a police officer. No, go get a desk job. Maybe you could do better typing in numbers for taxes or something like that. Maybe you could do better doing that. But when it comes to people's lives, because these are people's lives, you get to go home to your wife. You get to go home to your kids. You get to kiss your kid on the forehead or whatever. You get to feel their heartbeat. You get to feel those things. Traumatized weird. Something tells me you're not traumatized, but I hope that when you sleep, when you go to sleep at night, that boy's face is in your dreams, that you are haunted, because the same pain, because God knows the heart, the same pain that you are putting out there, the same trauma that you are causing. Please don't think that there aren't eyes watching you. Please don't think that there aren't ears watching you, because whether you think so or not, whether it's in this life or not, the same pain, the same trauma, the same disgust, the same disregard for human life, because you know damn well you could have pulled out a taser. That's why you have a taser. That's why you have a taser. And then on top of that, the man say, oh, it's awful, but it's lawful. What is this, a rap battle? Like, what are you talking about? What did you come up with that? Oh yeah, this is gonna be a great one. Yeah, they're gonna love this back at the office, back in the room, or back at the KKK meeting, or whatever the case these people be doing. Because at the end of the day, you don't be knowing what none of these people do behind closed doors, what they're into, what they say behind the scenes. But the same pain you're dishing out is going to be something so dramatic, so impactful, 1,000 million fold. This is on a spiritual level. It's just absolutely crazy how you could go to bed at night like that. Protect and serve. You in a situation where you couldn't take any type of time, any type of thinking. You're supposed to be tactical. Like, what's up with you? You're scary. Like, you're just like pathetic. How are you a cop? Resign. And that brings me to another thing that needs to be talked about is parents calling the cops on their kids, because we really need to when it comes to America in this situation, because I know about autistic kids. I know about the spirit that's on them, because it is a spirit. It is a spirit. Whenever it manifests itself, or whatever it does, right? It's not something that's fun to be around. It's agitating. It's difficult. But those people sign up for that job because that's what they said. They said that they're there to protect and serve. If you would have taken the time to think, that's why it's something that's important to me to completely rethink being in America. Because if you have sons, if you have boys that are growing up, the black boys, they're growing up quicker. They putting hormones in the food too, I guess. But at the same time, naturally, our genes are just different. So they're going to be growing up in a place where they are hated. Unfortunately. Of course, you be protected by God, yes. But as we can see, there's certain things, there's certain illnesses that you're not allowed to have as a black person in this country. Let alone being normal. There are normal black people that are functioning, fully functioning, and have been dramatically by these people. They'll come up with an excuse with anything. I remember I saw it. I don't know if it was a black person, but these cops, they be acting so scary nowadays, where an acorn dropped and he just started unloading. These people with this type of what you gonna call it, bad nerves. That's what Jamaican people say. When you have bad nerves, you should not be a cop. You should not be an officer. There's not the profession for you. But I don't think that's what happened here. I think you knew that you had it in your mind. This was in my opinion, premeditated, where you said, okay, bet I have a reason to shoot. Let me put on a good show. Let me put on a good act. I feel stupid even doing that. But that's exactly the energy. That's exactly what was going on in here. And then it brings me to my last point, is that autism is a spirit. I remember seeing, I see people that be like, oh yeah, I love having a kid with autism and I love the ride. It's a great ride. It's a great experience. It's a great learning experience. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm just going to be honest, and I just have to put it out there like that, cuz that's not the experience I feel from it. I feel like there's something definitely wrong. I feel like this is not how it's supposed to be. I feel like that they're battling with something. And I'm a very spiritual, emotionally connected person, and they even call autism a emotional disorder. If you even look into the Bible, as soon as they said emotional, okay, it is spiritual. If you look into the Bible, when a husband thought that and I'll put up the book, but a husband thought that his wife did something in the spirit of jealousy. Spirit of jealousy. That is a spirit, y'all. Same thing when Saul was acting the way he was acting whenever he had his moments where he wasn't feeling. It was a spirit that would come over him. And then David would have to come through. Y'all need to get these scary cops or get some extra training. But again, I don't think it's that. It's premeditated. It's, oh yes, I can't wait. Oh yes, I can have target practice with a black person. And the main reason that they're not trying to put out those, in my opinion, the main reason that they're not trying to put out that report for how many shots was fired is because they be going shot crazy. They be emptying clips. He wanted that boy to end. And my condolences to the family. May God rest his soul. May God look upon him. I don't. It's just so sad. I try not to get too emotionally involved into these things, but it's like, why? He could have still been alive. He could have still been trying to figure out. He probably had an episode. I don't know exactly what happened, but parents, we need to really raise our kids. We need to pray for our kids. We need to pray for all of these kids, because there's no there. I don't trust it's just not there. It's just not there. But love your kids, hug your kids, love and hug your kids, yo. Love and hug your kids, love and hug each other. So we need to come together. We need to find a way to just gain complete independence, go somewhere else, get land, start purchasing land, start purchasing, getting independence generators, something. Because this is not it. This is not it. This is complete misery and trauma. And to make matters worse, they taking it away from the family by trying to lie and say that they're the police officers, they're going through so much trauma. If that was their kid, if that was a little, like she said, a little white girl, if that was if that was one of their own, their family, whatever, they wouldn't have shot. And that brings me to the beginning of the video when I said, would you shoot your kid brother that's coming at you, your daughter that's coming at you? Would you shoot them if you had a gun on you, even though these officers clearly had a taser on you, and a taser would have done the job? And like he said, even maneuver and try to stop these officers. Don't be having no training. What y'all doing over there? What y'all doing over there? Y'all all got nice new cop cars, but are y'all getting trained? Yo, I love y'all. God loves you even more. Be blessed.